Okay, getting into something that is good or bad, and we'll make a call here now. Y Combinator. Did you know? I know back in the day, you probably applied early decision at college and were really excited. Now you can do that to Y Combinator. So you don't have to take any risk. Don't have to drop out of school. You just apply to Y Combinator, and boom, you get in. You finish your classes, have fun with your friends, go to senior year, stay drinking, stay having fun, and then you can start your company. Any thoughts on the Y Combinator early decision?
Yeah, man, I am conflicted on this one, Ben, because I'll be honest, I think we've talked about this. I started a company in college with some friends, and people really thought it was really stupid at the time. I won't go into the details of what it is. Maybe we'll do an after action review on a future Steam Zone. But there was not a lot of support at the time for what we were doing. And I think had there been the option to say, oh, you could just focus on school, focus on relationships, friends, and all that kind of stuff, and then you'll have this kind of set program afterwards, I think that probably would have been pretty compelling. On the flip side, the question is YC killing YC? Are they murdering the secret sauce that produces exceptional founders who go after really big problems, hard targets with a little bit of reckless abandon and youthful naivete in a way that combines to build something incredible, something beautiful. And I think like the way I see this, honestly, Ben, is through the lens of assets under management. And that is that Y Combinator is just getting really big. And the more money that they have to manage and they have to put to work, this is another way that they are just growing the empire. It's like we talked about their call for startups in the defense and the hard tech space earlier this year. Great. We're excited they're focused on the domain. This I see as, hey, look, we just need to see a certain volume of founders every single year to make sure that we get the one or two or the two or three that are going to turn into something really huge. And the reality is, they don't really care what happens to the other 99% of folks that come through the program. So I look at this as I think it's Y Combinator, a blue chip brand. I don't know. I don't think this is going to harm the prestige long term. You'll probably see on Hacker News, I am sure the boards are lighting up and people have takes and folks are upset or think they're opening the gates too big. That happens anytime you blow the gates of a small group or a little society wide open. My take is I don't know that you'll see the next Airbnb come from someone who applied early decision, but I don't think it fundamentally kills the program. What about you?
Yeah, I don't know. The program itself is a problem. I think it's more symptomatic of a larger problem where I think we have mistaken in this kind of startup and larger defense tech, industrial renaissance, reindustrialized thing, correlation and causation, right? I think if you have a great idea, you're going to drop out and go pursue it. But that doesn't mean that to have a great idea, you need to drop out and pursue it. And there are a lot of great companies that have been started by people who took risks and done stuff. And so we've fetishized starting a company as one of the only ways to go do great things, but it's not. And so I worry that instead of pushing people into really productive areas, we'll talk later about when we've talked about issues we have in manufacturing, issues we have in doing like the detailed work of reindustrializing the country and getting really good people in our military, getting really good people in industry, that if we put on a pedestal this idea of just starting a company, we're just gonna have a bunch of people running around with their heads cut off. And in some ways, I think we are entering that area where people are not focused on actual outcomes, right? And we've fetishized the process. And as long as you're starting a company, now you're a founder, you can just go do stuff, blah, blah, blah. The details don't matter. And so my worry is this is more of a symptom, which is I don't think everyone should be starting a company. I think we need really good people inside of companies that exist. And a lot of innovation, a lot of great innovation has come from within companies. And so a lot of great innovation has come from within the government too, right? And from all these places. And so we need good people doing stuff across the board. And so I don't want to put starting a company on a pedestal. And so my worry
Yeah,
is
I think you're exactly right. And the truth of this is that like most people do need a little bit more training coming out of college, right? Like most people are
and that's
not ready.
totally okay. Some of our greatest
It's okay.
like
I sure
people.
I needed it and I'm not a great founder. You're a founder. You probably needed a little bit of it. We all like most people,
And
like
I
aside
think
from the
the
top
data
40.
actually shows the fans will have to get off us in the comments that the best founder, right? We take the anecdotes of the Zuckerbergs, etc., who dropped out, Bill Gates, whatever, but actually the data shows I think older founders actually typically perform better when they're in their
Yeah.
30s. And so I don't know that we should be encouraging this, but I think it's symptomatic, right? It's symptomatic of what's going on in venture writ large, like you talked about with AUM. It's symptomatic with like our culture on Twitter and stuff, which is pushing people into the you can just do stuff instead of should I be doing it? What should I be doing instead of just do stuff?
The social status of founders is the biggest risk to this problem. This right now, I think you're going to see a whole. They've made. Here's my final take on this. They've just made their jobs so much harder, like probably 10x harder, because now, Ben, people like us, you apply to BCG, Bain, McKinsey, and Y Combinator early decision, right? It's like, why not? It's a no. You talk about the zero cost veto. This is a zero cost application. You get in, you don't have to give anything up. There's no conviction behind that decision, right? Oh, I'm going to do Goldman Sachs, Citibank, JP Morgan, and Y Combinator early decision. I'm going to go Google, Facebook, Apple, and Y Combinator early decision. That's a crazy world to
Yeah.
be in, that there's indifference between those choices
And I do
now.
think actually now that I think about it, it does have a cost on the system, right? Because if we put this on a pedestal, it will suck up capital, right? Because your Y Combinator early decision people are going to suck up capital coming out of Y Combinator that otherwise could have gone to the very unsexy 30-year-old founder who's actually been in the industry for 10 years, been really carefully plotting and thinking about how to disrupt that industry. And there is a lot of capital out there, so I'm sure great founders will always find good capital, but it has me worried that will we be allocating capital in the right areas as like an ecosystem?
We're the salty old guys who were upset it wasn't around when we were in school. But I'm changing my take. I don't like it. Y Combinator, get back to your roots. Stay true to who you are. High conviction bets only. All right, let's close that one out, Ben.